Welcome, everyone. I'm Tracy Fitzpatrick, and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We are very excited to host today's event, Navigating AI, Transforming IT Roles for the Future. Today's session intends to provide attendees with perspectives on how AI is changing their roles, the competencies required to succeed in this changing scenario, and the ethical issues that arise from using AI technologies in IT. Presenting today's topic is Mohan Sindhu. Mohan is an exuberant and charismatic professional with over 8 years of dedicated experience in training and development. Throughout his career, he has consistently crafted new success stories with every task he undertakes, leaving a trail of satisfied clients and empowered employees. As a seasoned functional consultant, Mohan possesses unparalleled expertise in Microsoft Dynamics 365 customer engagement and AI in tech landscape. He has honed his skills to leverage these technologies to drive positive outcomes and deliver exceptional results for his clients, making a significant impact on their business processes and success. Mohan's firm belief in the power of continuing learning sets him apart. Now, please bear in mind that this is an overview of a very robust topic. We offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored to your specific requirements. If you are interested in a further discussion, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session is also being recorded, so you'll get free access to the recording in the next 24 hours via email. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adapting to change, and driving growth. We do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. We have 9 practice areas in which we specialize. They encompass people, process, and technology training. Today's presentation is from the AI and data practice areas. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio of courses for the topic being covered today. Our upcoming classes include various trainings on the given courses. You can also access a variety of marketing assets, such as the free training and blogs, by clicking on the available event handout. These offerings can be found with a simple search on our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session intends to provide attendees with perspectives on how AI is changing their roles, the competencies required to succeed in this changing scenario, and the ethical issues that arise from using AI technologies in IT. And now I would like to give you a quick overview of the logistics before we get started. To begin with, you do have the option to view in full screen by clicking on the full screen button on the right side of the GoToWebinar viewer. Simply hit the escape key to exit the full screen. Everyone has been muted except for our presenters. Feel free to submit any questions you have for the presenters here in the questions pane, and we will address them at the end of the session. And to get the best out of today's events, we've included the slides, courses we talk about, and marketing assets in the handouts section of your GoToWebinar viewer. You may refer to them at any time to get a better understanding of today's topic. And we do realize that some of you may have to leave early and want to let you know that as you do leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to take a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience and improve our future sessions for you. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor.
And now I'd like to pass this over to our trainer to present today's topic.
Hey, Mohan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for the introduction. Now let's just get on with the session, guys. And welcome to the training for transforming IT roles for the future. Let me formally introduce myself and then we can start on from there. So my name is Mohan Sindhu and I'm a certified Dynamic 365 CRM and Power Platform trainer and function consultant. So overall, I've got 10 plus years of experience in training and development domain. I've been part of various training sections that includes linguistic training, behavioral training, transactional, and finally technical training. Um, if I talk about the technical training part, it's been over 3 years that I'm conducting technical training. I started my technical training journey with Coding Solutions, and now I'm part of Netcom. And these are some of the certifications I've achieved over the period of time. So I started with the fundamental of Power Platform and Dynamic 365 customer engagement apps. And then I carried on with customer engagement apps that included sales, marketing, customer service, field service, and even customer data platform. Talking about the Power Platform, I have knowledge of PL 100, that is Power Platform App Maker, PL 200, that is Power Platform Functional Consultant, PL 400, that is Power Platform Developer Associate, and finally PL 600, which is Solution Architect for Power Platform. Okay. Even for Azure, I have knowledge of the fundamental of Azure and AI. So these are some of the certifications I have achieved over the period of time. Now let's just get on with the content for this masterclass. So here's the agenda. I wanted to share this agenda with you guys before we carry on with the masterclass. We would be talking about the understanding of AI, what exactly AI is, how does it play a vital role in changing the workforce dynamics in today's time. We would be talking about various AI technologies and the business implementation implications of that, how various technologies, those are part of AI, are getting utilized within various walks of business. We would be talking about the AI and the future of work, how artificial intelligence is impacting the future of work and what are the prerequisites and the requirements that one should be able to fulfill in order to be competent for future dynamics. Then we would be talking about department specific AI application. And finally, we'll talk about the ethical, legal, and societal considerations for this masterclass. So that's the agenda. And this agenda, this will also include some of the demonstration. It'll also include some of the videos that I would have for you guys to look at. And we will be talking about certain tools that you can utilize in order to get on with AI. So the very first topic is AI. What is AI? The core concepts of AI and the key components of AI. Okay. Now, just to simply put it out there, when we talk about AI, what exactly AI is? Okay. It is the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, especially by computer systems. You must be if I talk about today's scenario, we are surrounded with systems and tools. Those are filled with AI technology. You talk about the phone that you have. You talk about the computer that you work with. You talk about the appliances that we have in our home. You talk about the other systems. Those are at workplaces and other premises where you would be able to experience AI in your real life. To give you some of the example, okay, like you talk about, we have smartphones with us, and all those smartphones have certain applications. Okay, social media to start with, right? On social media, you have suggestions coming to you. You have uh, there are suggestions for friends, suggestions for posts, suggestions for reels. So you have all those suggestions coming to you. That happens because of AI. These days, we are able to predict certain situations, be it weather prediction, be it prediction of churning of your customers, be it prediction of how much revenue an organization would go ahead and generate in a particular period of time. So all of these tasks are something that you can accomplish with the help of artificial intelligence. Okay. Right from the time you get up in the morning till the time you go to your sleep, you would have AI included in most of those tasks that you would be doing throughout the day. And people wear smartwatch these days. That smartwatch is capable of capturing the data and give you suggestions accordingly. If you sit for too long, it automatically tells you, get up and work, get up and do some exercise. Now that's how this AI inclusion has been done in our lives in today's time. Now, that's just what exactly AI is doing for us. Okay, the real world examples that I wanted to quote in front of you guys. However, let's understand the concepts and the key components and how do we go ahead and apply it in IT. Yeah, because that's what this masterclass is all about. Here we would be understanding what it is, the core components of it, and how do you go ahead and implement that in your job role or work dynamic. So to start with, when we talk about the core concepts, we have various types of artificial intelligence. Okay, machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing. These are some of the examples of artificial, or these are some of the technologies of artificial intelligence. There is more, like computer vision is there, knowledge mining, document intelligence, generative AI now that we have in place. So all of these are types of artificial intelligence. Okay, we'll go ahead and learn about this, uh, a little brief about all of these technologies. But for now, just the core concepts that I wanted to highlight for you guys. There are certain key components that you have when you are working with AI. It all starts with the data. So you should have data in place. And we do not have, like, there's no lack of data in today's time. We generate data at every walk, at every point of work that we do throughout the day, right? You check the social media, that's where you generate the data, right? When you check work, when you scroll through those reels or photos on social media, all you're doing, you're generating a pattern of how you would want to access the data. Okay, you're when you wear the smartwatch, when you use those smart appliances in at your home, that could include a smart air conditioner, that could include a smart television. So there also we are generating the data by accessing the content and by developing a pattern there of what kind of content we are watching. We would be feeding information that includes your email address, that includes your name, that includes your phone number. So although that is part of data, and you would have uh, the data available in bulk across various point of contacts for an organization and as an individual, right? When that data is captured, so this data is utilized in order to create certain algorithms. Okay, based on certain algorithm, based on certain patterns and techniques, you would be able to mine the data and the create certain systems or create certain tasks from this data. Okay, that's when you would define the algorithm, the pattern here. Like, what is the pattern of the data? Is it increasing, decreasing? Is it in sync with the defined pattern that you have by a system or not? And then the computing power. So computing power is the power of the system which can let you go ahead and perform certain tasks, certain computation, certain augmentation, certain calculation, right? Certain identification. So for all that, you would be needing certain computer power. These are the key components when you are trying to work with artificial intelligence capability. Okay, like data to start with, and algorithm, and also the computing power. Now, now the point comes that we have all this data coming from various data sources. Okay, like you would be using that data for training purpose, you would be using that data for testing purpose, you would be using that data for creating massive data sets that would be requiring to create specialized tools and techniques to process and analyze. That's the role of the data for you. Okay. See, if I talk about training data, let's say you would want to go ahead and create an AI model wherein it will generate certain responses based on the data that has been fed into it. Like you maybe let's talk about as easy example as customer feedback. So when you receive feedback from a customer, right, how would you go ahead and identify whether the feedback is positive or negative? Either you could just go ahead and manually check each feedback that has come your way, or you go ahead and create an AI model, and that AI model can go ahead and predict, sorry, not predict, but analyze whether the feedback you've received from a customer is positive or negative. Okay, that is going to be done based on the data that you have used for training. So you would have some organization specific data with you that you're going to be using for training purpose. And then some part of the data would also be used for the testing purpose as well. So when you use the training data, um, the testing data should be different from that. Okay, it's recommended that you have the testing and the training and the testing data different from one another so that you get accurate results. Then we have algorithm. Now, algorithm includes machine learning algorithm, deep learning algorithm, reinforcement learning algorithm, right? This is basically the method used to create model that can learn from the data and give you the outputs. Some of the examples for that could be linear regression, decision trees, neural network. So these are all the examples of the machine learning algorithm. We have deep learning algorithm again, which is advanced machine learning technique, which is going to use the neural network with many layers. Okay. Reinforcement learning algorithm, which includes techniques where agent would learn by interacting with an environment to maximize your cumulative rewards. When we talk about the computing power, it includes the hardware, the software, and the framework, the infrastructure rather. How do you go ahead and process the data? How do you go ahead and use the training and the evaluation of the model? The ethics and the governance, all of that you would go ahead and include within your computing power. So see, the CPU, right? You could talk about certain programming languages that you would be using for creating the AI development. That could include Python, R language. Okay. You could have the infrastructure set up for it, like cloud computing or on-premises servers. Yeah. All of that is going to be part of your computing power here. We have, so these are some of the key components of when you're getting started with AI. We have application in IT. Now, how does it work? When we talk about the application in IT, I've just mentioned some of the examples. There is much more that you can do with it than just automation, data analytics, and software development. See, when we talk about automation, whenever you would want to have any repetitive task automated, for that, you could go ahead and use artificial intelligence capabilities. Okay, maybe you would want to go ahead and send out a reminder to your customers, whoever has the subscription coming near to an end. So for that, you could use the AI capability. When you would want to go ahead and send out, maybe give approval within the system. So for that, again, you can use automation. Okay, updating of the system, updating of the files, data, that is all can be included within automation. Even generating responses and sending those responses. Maybe the moment customer places an order for you on your website, and you would want to send a thank you message or probably a confirmation that this, yes, the order has been submitted successfully. For that also you could choose the automation. We have data analytics, which is again where the AI implementation is at peak in today's time. When we talk about data analytics, Okay, it includes various tools that we have in picture. Power BI is something that you might hear. It's pretty common these days, wherein you would be using it for analyzing the data. Now, Power BI uses AI capabilities for performing those data analysis for you. Okay, there are certain visuals, those are powered by AI. There are certain visuals, those are not powered by AI. And there are certain AI models that you can even go ahead and bring into Power BI and have the data analysis done as per your requirement. Tableau is also one of the tools that you could go ahead and utilize. SAP Analytics Cloud, right? So these are some of the tools which are currently using artificial intelligence capability for performing data analysis. Software development is also using AI. See, gone those days, when you had to be a software developer in order to create certain software. These days, we have certain tools available which can even go ahead and generate codes for you in order to create a full-fledged application. Okay, if I talk about examples, some of the example, people who are familiar with Power Platform. In Power Platform, we just go ahead and use Copilot in order to go ahead and create a full-fledged application. You just give a prompt and it is capable of creating an app or a flow for you. And that's how you are going to utilize AI in IT in order to complete certain tasks. That's not it's not the implementation is not limited to just these 3 points, but it goes beyond that. You talk about healthcare, you talk about robotic process automation, you talk about finance. In all those sectors, you could go ahead and include AI capabilities. We'll go ahead and talk more about this, but for now, I believe you guys have gotten a fair idea of AI, the core components of it, and how do we go ahead and implement it into our IT sector. Moving on from this, well, let's talk about the technologies that you have. Okay. When we talk about the technology, machine learning is the one that we have. It's basically the foundation of AI system, for any AI system rather. Okay, and here it's basically the way we teach a computer model to make prediction and draw conclusion from the data. Okay, so when you talk about machine learning, okay, since the 1950s, and I'm not just talking about right now, I'm talking about all the way to 1950s, the beginning or the inception of AI. Researchers have often known as the data scientists have worked on different approaches to AI. And most modern applications of AI would have their origin in the machine learning itself. Okay, how does it work? Let me give you an example of this. Okay, uh, from data, like we create huge volumes of the data as we go about everyday's life. From text messages, emails, social media, we send photographs and videos we take on our phones. We generate massive amount of information, and most data, I'm sorry, and that's just created by humans. Think about the data that is created by machines, like homes, cars, cities, public transport, infrastructure, and factories. Okay, all of that data is compiled, and then data scientists can go ahead and use all of that data to train machine learning model that would be able to make predictions and inferences based on the relationship they find in the data. So machine learning would basically try to capture the relationship between data. For example, suppose you are an environmental conservation organization that will want to volunteer to identify the catalog different species on the wildflower using probably a phone app. So what you can do, you could have it exposed with various types of flowers. Okay, and then like you'll collect the data on some certain wildflower samples, and the team would label the sample with correct species. Maybe you have rose, marigold, jasmine, right, carnation. So you have all of those types of flowers, and you would have the correct label given to it. And then the label data is processed using the algorithm that would find relationship between the features of the sample. For example, the color, the fragrance, the shape of it, the size of it, right? Based on that, you would have the categorization done. And the result of the algorithm would be encapsulated in a model. And whenever you have the new sample found by any of the volunteer, the model would be able to identify the correct species of it. Okay, that's the machine learning model, wherein you go ahead and expose it to certain data sets, and based on the data, it develops the pattern. And when you are going ahead and exposing it to the new data, based on the historical data or based on the based on the model that you have created within machine learning, it is capable of categorizing it into the right category. Okay, we have deep learning. Now, again, deep learning is something even when you talk about it, it goes deeper in terms of machine, like it has certain layering done onto it. Okay, when you go ahead and when you talk about machine learning, there it basically talks about how do you go ahead and create the categories of it. But when you go down deeper onto it, as in the characteristics of a particular text, data, uh, object, all of that is discussed in the deep learning. Yeah, that's a layer. Like here, you would have various layers created. So if machine learning can tell you which kind of flower is it, deep learning can also tell you that what are the characteristics of this flower. Okay, and go beyond it, the usage of it. Okay, so that's deep learning. We have natural language processing, right? Natural language processing is the area of the AI that would deal with creating software that would basically understand written and spoken languages. And with the help of NLP, natural language processing, you can go ahead and analyze and interpret text in document, email messages, and other sources. You would even be able to interpret spoken languages, synthesize speech responses, automatically translate spoken languages or written phrases between languages. Okay, now how does it work? Okay, if I talk about uh, using natural language processing, so it is again, you would have the model created, and based on that model, you would have the AI language model, which would include the understanding and the analyzing of the text. And then finally, you can go ahead and train it based on the conversation language model that would understand your spoken or the text-based commands and build intelligence applications. If I talk about, see, these are the technologies in general. Now, each vendor that we have in the market, we have Microsoft, we have Google, we have AWS, we have, um, there are even proprietor vendors who would have their own app generated in order to utilize these AI technologies. So each one would have their own tool or platform created for utilizing these AI technologies. So if I talk about Microsoft, it refers to Azure. Azure is the one that you would be using for creating certain apps or logic in order to use AI technology. And these technologies that includes machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, and even computer vision and robotic process. So that's for the Azure. For Google, it'll have different. For AWS, it'll have different tools and platform. Okay. Computer vision is again a type of technology. It's an area of AI that would deal with visual processing, wherein you if you talk about the Seeing AI app, yeah, that's a great example of power of computer vision, wherein you would be it's this Seeing AI app is designed for the blind and low vision community, wherein it harnesses the power of AI to open up the visual world and describe the nearby people, text, and objects. So that what it basically does, It is able to recognize those images, those um, pictures that you would have, and can generate the description of it. And see, first it could go ahead and do the image classification, wherein what kind of image is it? Okay. Then object detection. So within an image, how many objects are there? The computer vision can go ahead and identify that. When you talk about semantic segmentation, okay, it's an advanced machine learning technique in which you would be individuals pixels in the image are classified according to the object to which they belong to. For example, if I talk about a traffic monitoring solution, might overlay traffic images with mask layers to highlight different vehicles using specific colors. Okay, you could even have the face detection and recognition. Last but not the least, optical character recognition is another technique within which is part of computer vision that is used to detect and read text in an image. Okay, so imagine this, that you have the technology which can basically read from an image and generate description about it. So you can go ahead and utilize it for making your app or solution more accessible and inclusive at the same time. So people with the vision impairment can easily go ahead and utilize this AI capability in order to be more competent in terms of understanding images, getting description of it, right? We have robotic process automation. Now, robotic process automation is basically when you have the machines doing the job for you, self-driven cars, right? Robots. You talk about performing automation on a local machine. Those are some of the examples of robotic process automation when you would want machines to do the work for you, like self-cleaning devices that we have, right? Those are all part of robotic process automation. When you add machine with AI, that's when you would be able to use the robotic process automation. So these are some of the AI technologies that you have that are going to be part of AI when you would want to go ahead and implement it in your in your work or in your learning. Okay. So far, we have just talked about the inception of AI and the core concepts and the implication of it in IT. And these are some of the AI technologies. Now let's understand that, how do we go ahead and do the implementation of AI in our businesses? Yeah. If I talk about, so you could do the implementation of AI into business in every segment of it. That includes right from customer service, marketing and sales, operations and supply chain, finance, human resource, product development. All of that could be added. Uh, in all those sections, you could go ahead and implement AI. Okay. Now, how are you going to do that? Let's understand it right from the beginning. So when we say customer service. Okay, customer service is something which is going to go ahead and if I would want to talk about AI inclusion in here, maintaining the feedback that you receive from a customer, providing support to your customers. You could have chatbots created. Those chatbots could be integrated on various platforms like your social media channel, on your website, on the app that you have developed for your customers. So what they do, they are able to use various AI technology. Nowadays we have generative AI in place. Okay, so generative AI is the biggest example one can think of in order to include it for in your support system as an organization or as an individual. Okay, let's say I have mm, I'm not sure how many of you have heard about the Copilot or the Copilot Studio. So using this, what you can do, you can create chatbots. And when you do create those chatbots, it can be integrated on the on your website or wherever you would want it to be implemented, maybe on a Teams channel. So you could go ahead and do that. And it is capable of interacting with your customers and generate human-like responses and give them answers of the frequently asked questions that they might have, like maybe the store timing, the availability of the product, the status of the order that they have placed, right? That's how you could go ahead and utilize. This is one of the examples you could go ahead and utilize AI in customer service. Talking about the feedback mechanism, uh, or like feedback management. So maybe you want to have a system in place that the moment you receive feedback from a customer, you want to analyze. The sentiment analysis is again one of the technologies, one of the ways you can use AI in customer service. And when you use that sentiment analysis, it is capable of analyzing the text written in the feedback, if it's a positive, if it's a negative, and then based on the based on the result that you have come across, you could take further action. Maybe if you receive a negative feedback, based on that, you might want to invoke or instigate an email asking customer for more details, okay, about what happened on the transaction that was done. Okay, so that's the customer, how you go ahead and use it in customer service. These are some of the examples. Talking about marketing and sales, people today, the time has completely changed of how organizations are doing marketing and involving AI at every stage. See, if I talk about a few years ago, probably like 20 some years ago, the way we would do marketing was we go ahead and put out the advertisement on various channels wherein you could go ahead and connect with your customer. That would include newspaper, that would include TV commercials, that would include a hoarding billboards, right? Those were the methods, but now it is way more advanced than what it used to be. Okay, we have with the help of AI, we have been able to personalize the marketing strategies for your customer at scale. It's not just a personalization for like few hundreds. I'm talking about millions. If you have reach to million customer, you still could go ahead and personalize it for all of those customers. How would you do that? With the help of AI. It is now with the help of AI, you could go ahead and create a certain customer journey, wherein you literally define the processes of how a customer would follow a certain journey, right from the time they were prospect to you to the time they have become your loyal customer, right? You could design a journey wherein it can automatically filter your customers based on the choices that they are making for you. For example, you create a customer journey and you send out maybe up 1 million mails out to all those customers. Out of those, all of those who responded, okay, they would be segregated into a particular segment, and then those few thousand customers are going to be put through the next part of the journey. That include probably receiving a phone call from one of your agents, and once the that particular stage has been completed, then the next stage might include wherein you go ahead and uh, once the call has been done, then based on the response of the call, you probably want to go ahead and send out another email. Okay, and then go so and so forth. You would be creating certain stages, filtering your customers at every segment, creating the personalized journey for them, right? Whatever responses they gave to you, that could be auto categorized, and you would have the results given in front of you. So that's how you could do the personalization at scale. Even in sales, you could predict whether like who all are inclined towards the product that you are selling to them, that you're trying to sell to them. Here you could create predictive analytics you in the sales application. There are various sales applications that you would have. Salesforce, we have Dynamic 365, we have, and Zoho. There are so many CRM products that we have available in market these days, which uses AI capabilities for ensuring that all your customers' data is optimized and is giving you sufficient results or efficient results. Okay, so that is another example of using AI in marketing and sales. Talking about operations and supply chain, and that's where we use AI the most. Okay, you would want to go ahead and create a process wherein certain stages are involved. So you could go ahead and create a process flow with the help of AI. Okay, supply chain. How would as a manufacturing unit, you probably would have centers across the globe. Now, how would you go ahead and ensure that which center is running out of supplies and inventory? AI can come into handy. AI can come in handy with you, for you, wherein you use that AI system, and then based on certain predictions, it can tell you that, okay, as per the historical data, that's the analysis. We need to have this number of units available at every point in time within the center. So it is capable of generating such reports for you, wherein you can stay ahead of, uh, or you can stay ahead of the data, or stay ahead of the circumstances wherein you run out of inventory. Finance is again one of the most prominent sector wherein you would be able to use AI in every part of it. Like right from the time you would want to go ahead and create reports to the time you would want to detect any of the fraud that might happen in finance. How do you go ahead and, as a banking system, you might want to use AI to analyze the customer's profile and come to conclusion whether we can go ahead and approve the loan application for the customer or not. See, Sybil, okay? So Sybil is one of the AI product that we have wherein it collects the data from all the touch points that you have been exposed to so far, be it you made an inquiry on one of the credit institution, or uh, you made a payment on time, right? All the addresses that you have lived at a certain period of time, the numbers that you've changed. So all your data is compiled, and then based on the data that has been compiled from an individual, a report is generated, and that report has certain scoring pattern. And though all those scores are um, calculated based on an algorithm that has come from uh, the financial behavior you've been able to depict to various credit institutions over the period of time. Okay, so that's how you use AI in finance. Human resources. Now, human resources, again, when you talk about the recruitment process, the unknowingly, we end up adding certain biasness in the recruitment processes. So to eradicate those, maybe to ensure a fair, like if I talk about application tracking systems that we have available, ATS, it is it has become so advanced these days that it can screen the resume for you. Once you've screened the resume, then it can also identify if the person who is the applicant has required skills or not. Okay, and once it has done the first screening, it is also able to put the applicant through the first screening by asking them certain questions. And based on those questions, the result would be generated and they could be passed on to the next stage. So you would have most of the work done for you already, wherein they've been screened, they have been evaluated through the first stage, and now they are moved on. They are ready to move on to the next stage, which would include for you to go ahead and uh, come to a conclusion whether they are the right fit for the job that you're trying to hire or not. Okay. All that automation you could go ahead and do with the help of AI, even in human resource, like sending reminders to your interviewees for the upcoming interview. Okay. So that's the inclusion of AI in your human resource, and even product development. Let's not forget about that. See, these days, how all those brands and companies, they try to engage their customer as much as they can. Okay, gone those days where they create a product and then just continue using that product for centuries. Okay, if I talk about old times, not sure how many of you can relate to this example, but let's talk about the toothpaste example. We have Colgate. Okay, back then we just had Colgate. If I talk about probably 80s and 90s, right? That's when there was only one brand, Colgate, and they didn't make change for quite some time. Probably for like a decade or so, they can continue the same product, right? But now it's no longer the case. There has to be variety of the products, and how is it possible? By engaging your customers. And how do you engage your customers? And once you have engaged your customers, how do you go ahead and ensure that all the responses your customers have given to you are utilized with efficiency? So that's when AI comes into the picture. You create the engagement platform for your customers, wherein you ask them certain questions. You um, capture the feedback the customer has given to you about the product, and based on that, you create certain patterns and development in your product. Yeah. So that's how AI is used in product development. And if I would want to go ahead and enhance, maybe there is a software I have created, and in that software, I would want to go ahead and add something, augment something. So for that, you could go ahead and use AI, like just by adding AI. Like if I talk about the CRM applications, to be precise, if I compare today's CRM applications with the CRM applications that we had probably 20 some years ago, okay, those are much faster, much efficient, much um, time saving because it uses AI. Now, if I talk about Dynamic 365 sales, okay, it has certain AI capability. Sales analytics is one of those. Okay, um, Sales Insight is one of those, wherein you would be able to come to a conclusion whether the certain customer would buy your product or not. So you could go ahead and create a list of the customers who are more more likely to buy your product and just prioritize those customers. And then you are not spending time on each and every lead that has come your way. Out of 100 leads that came your way, you are just spending time on those 50 of the ones, those have been prioritized by AI. And then you are getting more results because you just were working on those 50, you're giving priority to those 50 leads. And that's why the conversion rate is even higher because there you had more chances of converting those leads. And that's how you would be able to implement your implement AI into various business segments. That includes customer service, marketing and sales, operations, finance, human resource, and product development. Okay, so these were some of the examples that I wanted to quote here. Now, the reason behind all of that is because when we talk about AI inclusion, into like where all can we have AI included. So I wanted to emphasize on the fact that it's not just one part of the business where you can have AI included, but in all parts of businesses. When you talk about CRM, ERP, all those applications, every application has scope of including AI in it. That's why it becomes imperative for every individual of the organization to know about AI in order to make the work efficient. Let's understand the current trend, like what exactly is happening these days and why does it matter to us? So this was the implementation of AI in businesses. But if I talk about the current situation, like where are we standing right now in terms of AI in inclusiveness at workplace. So that's the current trend. Currently, the adoption rate of AI is going higher. If I try to map it, try to map it with why does it matter? If you look AI market growth in 2022, we had around 136.6 billion just in 2020. By 2022, by 2030, we are expecting this market to grow to $1.81 trillion. That's the growth rate of AI market. That includes creating AI jobs, that includes creating AI softwares, that includes creating AI models, prompt engineers, data analysts. All of those job roles are included within AI market. Okay, so yes, the adoption rate of AI is going higher by every day. Okay, the application, like we have just discussed in the previous slide, how AI is can be applied in every walk of business and what impact it brings. So it has been able to bring a significant impact. The way market has shown growth in the recent years, and not just the market growth, but if I talk about the trend that it has brought. So that talks a lot about how AI has impacted the way we used to do business and the way we are doing business now. Now, there are certain challenges that you have, and those challenges and considerations are how you go ahead and integrate it. So, because of the lack of AI resources, you would face challenges in the integration part of it. Okay, there are ethical concerns involved in it. Like when you try to include AI, it is also imperative that how do you go ahead and ensure that you are following all the ethical you're following, being ethical while including AI in your system. We'll talk about certain ethics in the next slides of AI and the future trends. What are the future trends of how, see, the way, like I said, AI inception, it's not new. It started from 1950. So it's, if I say that it's been more than like 70 some years that AI has been part of our lives. But because it's so ever evolving, that's the reason, like every day you have a new trend coming in. Okay. If I talk about versions of AI, like there are various AI models that you have, and it has certain models, certain versions as well, like ChatGPT, for example. By 2020, we had ChatGPT. Like we had the large language model evolve to an extent wherein it could go ahead and create, so like it could work with neuron network and generate tokens and have the human-like responses generated for us. But now, if I talk about the future trend, so with the recent evolutions, you have the various versions of the ChatGPT created for us. Okay, so and that's not it. Like if I talk about CRM, okay, CRM application. So the way it has been going on, or the way it has been evolving, it talks a lot about how important it is to keep up with the future trends. And that again is one of the challenges here. Why it is a challenge? Because by the time you go ahead and make yourself competent with one of the skills or one of the technology, we have new technology coming up. So that makes the current knowledge we possess as obsolete. So that is another challenge we have when it comes to in implementing AI at our workplace or in our job role. Okay. But again, keeping these challenges and current landscape into consideration, it's still important to understand why AI inclusion matters. Okay. It is because of all these points that I've highlighted in this slide for you. One, when we talk about the growth rate of AI market, it is going to go on from the 136 billion dollar, which is in 2022, to 1.81 trillion dollar by 2030. 80% of the employers are looking for AI savvy professionals. That is a survey done by IBM. Okay, when we talk about the AI job growth, that has seen a 70% faster growth. Okay, it's a survey again done by LinkedIn. As per Deloitte report, 2.1 million new AI jobs would be there in 2000 by 2030. And those jobs are not just going to be data analyst or prompt engineer, but much more than that. So these are some of the facts we might want to consider like some of the current challenges that we have and the considerations that you would have while including AI in your current job role. Let's talk about how it is impacting the employment. So AI, how it is going to impact the employment for us. So think of it that if I talk about when calculators were introduced, okay, everybody was saying, oh, they're going to take up human jobs, and there's going to be reduction in the number of jobs that has been created for humans. But that's not the case, people. It is it is basically an augmentation, not just automation here. Why? Because it AI is capable of adding on to whatever you are able to do already. Okay, it's not going to take away the job that you are able to do. If there are going to be loss of jobs, there's certainly going to be creation of new roles as well. Okay, when the internet was launched, right, the data entry, the jobs were at stake. But at the same time, we had more jobs coming up, like web developers, right, designers. Those types of jobs were created in the market. So it is never the loss of job, but creation of more jobs. I mean, it's not just the losing of the old types of jobs that we have, but even creating the new roles for us. That's how AI impacts on the employment part. It definitely redefines how we work these days. If I talk about the the way certain work was done, like right now, if I just talk an example of ChatGPT, we have like the content writer jobs might be at stake because we have ChatGPT in place. But it's if they just understand how to prompt better, they can become prompt engineer and carry on with writing content. Okay, so it is just going to redefine the work, not going to cause the loss of work for humankind. Think of it like an evolution, not just a replacement. And when we would have the mindset wherein it is going to have the evolution done for you, not let cause certain loss, that's when we would be able to. And if I go back here a little bit and show you the challenge and consideration, one of the um, challenge and consideration, which includes integration, it and future trend, it comes with the mindset. It is because of the mindset that we have when we are in the learning mode. Nothing can stop us from achieving success, even in ever evolving world that we are in right now. And that's when the importance of reskilling and upskilling comes into the picture. As an organization, we should always encourage the environment of learning new skills and upskilling ourselves on the current trends and the technologies that we have in place. And that's how the AI is going to impact on employment. Now, this is department specific AI applications that we have, which like how exactly it plays a vital role in finance. It can let you go ahead and lead to enhanced decision making because you are able to um, take data driven decisions. Like based on certain AI models that you would have in place, you could have data segregated, create certain pattern, create certain um, reports, and based on that, you could just look at the report and have the decision made accordingly. And it's not going to be um, an intuition or a manual evaluation, but so it's something which has been done with the help of AI, and that is more efficient or proficient. AI and fraud detection again, because like we discussed one of the examples wherein you have certain reports created by certain credit institutions, and those reports are going to let you go ahead and come to a point as a credit institution whether the entity with which you are trying to perform certain transaction is going to be beneficial or not for you. Talking about marketing and sales, again, personalization at scale is something which you would be able to do with the help of marketing because you have, when you talk about personalization, it's not about including customer's name or the email address for that. It's also about capturing their interests, capturing their likes, dislikes, and accordingly creating a product or a brand that is going to be more personal to their customers. Okay, if I uh, talk about various types of the society. Okay, we're not really types, but various sections of the society. We have people, we have people with people with disability, right? So if I come up with a product which is like the Seeing AI app, the one I was talking about earlier, which is that app is something which can let people with visual impairments see, interpret certain images. So you have the marketing campaign done in a way wherein even if you have created an image which is not just not just beneficial or understandable by people who have their vision intact, but people who have certain vision impairment, they can also go ahead and interpret that image and connect with your brand or the company. AI and human resource, we were talking about how you could have recruitment automation, enhancing recruitment strategy, all of that. All right. Let's take a quick 5 minutes break and then I'll start on the remaining topics after the break.
Sure, we are now going to take a 5-minute break, but before we do that, we are going to launch a quick poll that we want to invite you to participate in. Doing so helps us know how we can better serve you by telling us who might be interested in more information or in taking some additional training. In addition, we have a lot more informative webinars coming up, so please go to netcomlearning.com/webinars in order to register.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's continue from where we left off. Now, talking about the ethical considerations in AI. Okay, so what is ethics in AI? It is super important. And these are certain AIs, certain considerations that you should have when we are trying to go ahead and use AI in our work culture. The very first is transparency. Okay. When we talk about transparency and explainability, we have certain points. You should have models created that would provide clear and understandable reasons for their decisions, enabling users to trust and validate outcomes. Like you create a model that, let's say you created a prediction model, for example. So it should be able to tell you that if what is the reason behind a certain prediction. If it gave you a negative response, what was the reason behind that negative response? Was it because of the trend of the data? Was it because of the historical data? Was it because of the comparison between past and the future data? So all that you would be able to, it should be able to explain, right? Many AI models, especially when we talk about the deep learning models, are complex and their decision-making processes are not easily understood. Hence, you should have the AI in place, which is transparent. Okay. Then the fairness. You know, you would have biasness in data. AI system would be able to inherit biases present in the training data, which would lead to unfair treatment of certain groups. Okay, so and again, this when we talk about the fairness in AI, it has a lot to do with the kind of data that we expose it to. If you have the data coming from a certain race, certain group, certain caste, creed, gender. So those type of biasness it might have if that is existing in your data, the one you're using for training it. Okay, so to ensure that you have fairness, you should expose it to the data that is inclusive, that is including all types of sections of the society. Okay, it is not discriminating based on the race, based on the gender, age, or other protected characteristics. So that's when fairness comes into the picture. Privacy is also there. When we talk about privacy here, right, to ensure that the data that you are using, okay, the personal data that will be used to train and operate AI system, it should be protected from any unauthorized access or misuse. So ensuring the consent of the users when you are informing them about that why the data is getting collected from them, and what is it going to be used for. That has to be in place when you're including AI in your work culture. See, if I talk about the data protection acts, like we have GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. Okay, that's basically states whenever you collect data from your users, it does give a clarity to your users that what is this data why the data is getting collected and what are going to be used for. You even as a user, you would even have the uh, clarity of what all data has been collected by this organization or the brand. Okay, so that's the privacy factor or privacy ethic. Then you have the accountability as well. So see, when we talk about it here, we would basically be defining responsibility and the auditability and the legal compliances. Like who, when you're defining who is accountable for the outcome of AI system. So if I've created one AI model and it generates certain data or it generates certain predictions and outcomes based on the AI model generated. So who is going to be responsible if it ends up doing something, if it includes the errors or unintended consequences? Okay, so that's something should be defined in the accountability section. Okay. You also go ahead and establish a process for auditing AI systems and their decision-making processes. There has to be legal compliances which would ensure that AI systems comply with the existing laws and the regulations. So that includes the AI accountability. And last but not least, we have the sustainability. So when we talk about the sustainability, it's like, is it self-sustained or how is it going to, or do you need to have intervention on time-to-time basis for making it sustainable? Like, is it self-sufficient to have the data brought uh, into it and have certain tasks completed on its own? Okay. So these are some of the ethical considerations that you have in AI. Now, this was more of a theory part, people, wherein we just understood the AI and how you can go ahead and use AI into various walks of business and the ethical considerations of AI. Okay, what we need to do is let's go ahead and try to see some of the examples. Okay, or I'm going to show you some of the, I'll have some of the demonstrations done for you, wherein we would be able to see how exactly it's going to work. So I'm going to open. See, if I show you this one, just give me a moment. Yeah. See, this is the language studio, which is from Azure. So again, it uses the AI capability for using for natural language processing. Okay. If you would want to go ahead and use this feature, or if you would want to go ahead and use the AI capabilities in order to create a model which is based for natural language processing. So what you can do, you could use the language studio for it. Okay, here's a link for it, language.cognitive.azure.com. And when you should be signed in, you should have the Azure subscription for using it. And you can go ahead and extract the information. Okay, wherein you use the natural language to extract information from a file, from a data set. Okay, from you see, these are the type of information you can extract. Key phrases, linked entity, named entity recognition, text analysis for health, key phrases. You can even classify the text, wherein you can choose if you would want to go ahead and analyze the sentiments and mind the opinions. Is it the positive? Is it the negative? Detect which language has been used, custom text classification, custom sentiment analysis. So these are some of the ways you could go ahead and classify the text, understand the question and conversation languages. These are more features that you could go and use with the help of Language Studio. Summarization of the text, when you can go ahead and perform a summary of the information. Okay, that is again part of your Language Studio. Now, along with Language Studio, you even have the Vision Studio, which basically uses the computer vision for you. So if I would want to go ahead and use like if you would want to use your own image, so you need to sign in with Azure and have the subscription for this. But see, like this, if I just show you basic example, when I have an image here, it generates the attribute that what exactly this image is for. It's a group of cow grazing in a field. I'll talk about this image. It generates the man holding a surfboard on a rock. These are some of the sample images. And you have the description, a sandwich cut in half. Okay. A baseball. So these are some of the studios you have from Azure AI. I would go back to Azure AI services. Here you should be able to see various products. All of these. Like you have AI Studio, vision, search, both service, data, AI languages, AI Studio. So these are some of the tools that you could go ahead and utilize from Azure in order to create your own AI model. I go to Azure AI Studio, right? Let's say try Azure for free, and we could go ahead and these are all the things that you could go ahead and do. Simplify generative AI development, revolution. Okay. If I show you the capabilities of this, let me try to play this video for you. Let's just wait for it to be played. It seems it's taking its own time. Let me show you other options meanwhile. So when we go to this Azure AI, right here, you have these options available. Speech Studio is there, Language Studio is here, Custom Translator is here, Vision Studio, Document Intelligence. Again, so when you use document intelligence, what it does, it lets you go ahead and bring in your documents, and based on that, you could go ahead and perform the knowledge mining. Like maybe you would want to have the summary generated of that particular document. Maybe you would want to have certain highlights brought from this document intelligence. So you would be able to use these tools available within Azure AI. So for this, you go to Azure AI services, and there you would have these tools. You would be required to sign in. So you could just sign in and use this Azure AI Studio for developing and deploying your generative AI responsibility. There are certain use cases also available on how you could improve customer experience, work quality, productivity, and efficiency, reduce organizational risk. And here is a list of the organization those have tried to use it and have implemented it within their business solutions. You could read the story for Siemens, I will SOS. These are all the research studies that you have available. I wanted to even show you in a Power Platform. So if I go to Power Platform, like I was saying, that just one of the example of how you could build the software development. So let me show you first of all, this is my sales application, Dynamics 365 Sales, the CRM application. And in the sales application, you would be able to see like here you have the Copilot integration done already. Okay, wherein if I get the information, let's say if I go ahead and click on get information, I could summarize the entire lead that I have for you. And this here is the lead summary that is generated for me. So by looking at the lead summary, I would be able to understand what all has been done so far and what is the next course of action that I should be able to take. I didn't have to literally go through the entire lead here in order to check what all steps have been taken so far, who all have worked on this lead. Okay, you could even go ahead and ask a question here. Right, there are certain questions that you might do, like here you have the prompt guide as well. Okay. Got it lower in a while. So this has certain set of questions already built into it, and you could go use these questions in order to find out more information about the record that you have within your sales application. If I would want to go ahead and generate an email, right? Maybe I just want to generate one email for my lead. I could go ahead and do that. Like, see, these are the questions. So ask questions. What kind of questions you would ask here? Here's the newly assigned lead. You could go ahead and summarize it. You could go ahead and open it in a new window altogether, right? Let's say we want to summarize this new lead here, Jabez Parker, and there you have. You could even go ahead and copy to email the entire lead summary so that I could go ahead and send it to all the stakeholders that I'm working with, probably my sales team, probably my supervisors. So there you have it's been copied to an email. You could even go ahead and draft it with improvise this with Copilot. Okay. We have certain like in here, if I would want to go ahead and generate a contact that uses some of the AI model, which is going to I would want to create a new contact, right? I have this AI capability wherein I could just scan a business card and it can generate, like it could fetch the information from the business card and have all those information added onto here. So if I just click on scan business card, and if there was one, let me see if I have one of those, I probably would not have it. Don't have it. Let me go ahead and try to create one. Okay. So I say sample visiting card. These are some of the cards that we have. Let's just go ahead and try to save one of it. So maybe we have this Mariana Anderson. I'm just going to save this image and save it on desktop. Okay. Let's see if it's getting recognized. So if I go here, try to scan this. Find out a better one which does not have this file type. So save image as. Okay, we need to have JPG. So JPG. Let's see. So we have this person's card. I'm going to save this image as. So again, saving it as. It's the one. So we have found it. Let's just go ahead and try to use this in here. So if I just scan this desktop, and here we should have the file. Open it, and it's going to. The license is the one we need. We could go ahead and have the license. So let me just go ahead and go to our environment, and you would be required to have the license here. And I'll just go ahead and try to use the free one. Start the free trial. So see, it scanned it and all this information has been filled in automatically. Okay, that is one of the AI capabilities we have here. And like this, there are more. If I show you here, let me just save it, close it, and we would have a record created right here with Sandra Tucker. And here's the record created altogether. And it just happened within few seconds. All I had to do, scan the business card and then create the record here. If I talk about Power Platform, it has something called AI Studio, sorry, AI Hub. In this AI Hub, you would be able to look at, there are various AI models available for you. Like here, I show you, these are all your AI models available, wherein you could just, if I click on all, these are all my AI pre-built AI models. Okay, extracting information from an identity document, extracting information from business card, detecting positive, negative, neutral statement, sentiment in text data, detecting the predominant language. Okay, predict future outcome from the historical data. So you could go ahead and use all of these AI models when you're trying to create a business solution with Power Platform capabilities, Power Platform tools rather. Let me show you one of the examples here. So if I would want to go ahead and I want to maybe create an app. Okay. Here you have the start with Copilot option. So what you can do, you could just give a prompt here and it will create an app within minutes for you. So let's say create an app for HR to onboard employees, or maybe HR to keep details of candidates for interview along with interview status. So that's just one prompt I'm giving here. And this Copilot is going to go ahead and create an application for me. Yeah, this is the table that is going to be utilized within the app. And here you have all these columns within the table: name of the interviewee, email of the interviewee, phone number, interview date, and the status, right? You could just, once you're okay with it, you could go ahead and create an app. If you would want to make modifications in this, like maybe I would want to add more column. So you could do this. Let's say add a column for candidate qualification. Okay, so just enter it and it should go ahead and add a column here wherein we would be able to add the candidate's qualification. And there you see it's been added here. Qualification, which includes bachelor degree, master's degree, PhD, all of this. If you would want to go ahead and remove certain refresh, give your suggestions, you could go ahead and, let's say, give me suggestions. Okay, so let's see. It says what you can do: add the experience column, add the skill column. So let's go ahead and add the experience column, and it should be able to do that for us. Okay, I see we have experience column added. You want more suggestion, like more suggestions. And there you have. You could, again, let's say, give me more suggestion. Add certification column, add skill column. So let's just add skill column as well. And I think that should be it with it. And there you have. Skills are also added here. Now simply let's go ahead and create an app. The moment I say create an app, it's going to take its own time. Some time it's going to take, and it'll have an app created. So that is another example of AI in Power Platform. So we've seen some of the example AI in Azure's, like AI Azure AI Studio, when we saw Vision Studio, Language Studio, Data Studio. Those are the ones we were able to see. And now in Power Platform also, we've seen some of the AI inclusion, some of the AI capabilities that you have. And you can see that it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. All I have to do is just define what do I need, and based on that, I have the results. So when you have such easy way of including AI in your work, what comes next? Okay, like how could you go ahead and get started with it? So for that, there are um, like how I'm able to use it. It's because I have been working with these tools, and because I've been working with the tools, so the moment AI inclusion happened, I was aware of it, and I'm able to show you the demonstration for this. Now, accordingly, you see this app is ready here, and in this app, if you would want to see the preview of it, let me just save it first quickly, and then we could have you could even go ahead and customize this app as well, like add a screen, change the format, ask something, how could you do something, right? Add an email screen, add a button, add a gallery. So these are all the customizations of the app that you could go ahead and do. Let me see the preview of it. So if I go to the preview, this is how my app is going to look like It shows me certain records here, and it has the capability of adding new records, editing an existing record, or deleting a record. So let's say if I want to create a new record, so click on the plus sign and it opens a new form for me, which I could use to add in more details. The email address, the experience, the interview date, the phone, skill, status, candidate ID, qualification, name, all of this could be added in here. Okay, so if I say, let's go ahead and add the email here, first of all. So I say test email at outlook.com. And then you have the experience. It's of 2 years. What is the name? I say test candidate. Okay, that's the qualification. So I say bachelor. Say Gary. What is the phone number? So you could add the phone number here. Skills. So I say maybe C++ is their skills. Okay. Candidate ID if you have any. So maybe let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. And the status. Is it scheduled or completed? So it's been scheduled. For what date it's been scheduled, let's go ahead and add the date here. So see, June 22nd. So it's scheduled probably on 26th of June. What time? You could choose the time as well. So it's set to maybe let's 11 a.m. Okay. And then save it. So you see, we were able to create a full-fledged app just with the prompt, and it is even able to work for us, wherein we have been able to store the information. Now, if you would want us to go ahead and see the information, you could check that under the candidate details table. So you would be able to have this in the data table, like there will be a data table created for this name, and you would be able to see it in your Dataverse. That's another demonstration of how you could use AI for creating an application for you. You could use that in Power Automate Flow as well. When you would want to create an automation with the help of AI, that could also do. So if I would go back here, let's say leave the app, we have saved it, so we can go back now. If you would want to go ahead and start the automation, Power Automate. Right here, you could just literally define it with the prompt and create an AI flow. The best one is like when you go to Power Platform here, Copilot Studio. This can let you go ahead and create your own Copilot. Okay. And that Copilot could be added on to various platforms. That includes your website, that includes your the Teams channel, that includes your social media platform. Wherever you would want to go ahead and deploy this chatbot, you could go ahead and do that. Okay. So this, let me show you quickly here. Brief overview of this Copilot Studio that you should be able to do that. So here I go, here my Copilot Studio. So select the environment. Guys, again, all that I'm doing right now, it's just for the demonstration of how AI is included into various platforms or tools. Okay, we're not talking about Power Platform, but we are talking about AI inclusion within the platform itself. So if I would want to go ahead and create it, I could just go ahead and create the Copilot like this. You can start with the template. You could go ahead and like, if you would want to have a web weather one, if you would want to create a Copilot that could fetch information from your website and give answers to your customers accordingly, you could do that. Safe travel ones, the voice one with voice capability, store operations. So there are certain Copilots that you could go ahead and create. See here, you could add the description, and in this you could go ahead and add the knowledge, like where do you want to add the knowledge source? Is it a public website, SharePoint, OneDrive? Okay. And if you could even go ahead and connect to your enterprise data, but that's in the preview mode, which will be operational pretty soon. Like though you can go ahead and use it, it's just it's recommended not to use it in the production environment. So let's say if I would want to go ahead and give a public website, so maybe www.google.com. Okay, so you could go ahead and add it, and it is going to go ahead and find out information from Google and give it to us. Like so, when you go ahead and create it, it'll set up the Copilot for you, and then you can ask questions, and it should be able to give you the answer. It's that easy, and it's all because of the AI capabilities that you have. See, here it says test your Copilot. Whatever questions you would want to ask to it based on the knowledge sources that you've added in here, it'll find out the information for you. How is the weather in New York? Checking reliable weather website using a website. Okay, so it says that this is what it's given. So let's say, what is Copilot? Should be able to find out some information from the internet, and there you have. Refer to a feature that allows users to coding information support such as syntax programming, and here it has given the link as well that it was able to find out from the internet. Okay. Okay. USD currency conversion in INR. And here it has found out the currency conversion and it has given to you. So it basically finds out information from the internet and then it gives this to us. And now, because I have my Copilot ready, I could just go ahead and deploy it wherever I would want to. So when you would want to go ahead and deploy it, you choose. And this is the website. And here you would have more like options available to you. So in the settings, you would have the options for deploying. You would have certain channels available. AI integration tool. Okay. How do you manage the security of this? How do you manage the skills and the languages that it speaks? These are some of the settings of it. And here you have these channels. And you could go ahead and deploy it on telephony, Teams, demo website. It's because of the authentication. When you change this, you could go ahead and add it to Twilio, Line, Skype, GroupMe, Facebook, mobile application, wherever you would want to go ahead and uh, you know, embed it, you could do that. ServiceNow as well, Zendesk. Okay, so that's the AI inclusion within Copilot for your Microsoft. And I was talking about how you can go ahead and create let's say you would want to go ahead and create a flow, an automation, which is going to fetch the information from different data sources and going to add it into your AI solution. So for that, again, you can use either you can use Copilot or you could go ahead and use the AI models as well. So let's say if I would, maybe I want to go ahead and create a flow that, I receive whenever I receive information from internet or from like whenever I receive an email. Let's say hypothetically speaking, we create an email, create a flow wherein I receive an email. The moment I receive an email, I should go ahead and evaluate the text body. So first of all, I should be logging in. So I've logged in here. I should be able to go on. I'm trying to go in and use my personal one. So here I go. I remember the password for it. Okay, and I do remember it. Good. So I've logged in. Let's say the moment I receive an email on my inbox, the next step that I would want to do is I would want to use the AI model. So see here you would have AI builder. And these are all these actions that you can take. You could go ahead and extract information from invoice, detect the language being used, detect the count objects and images. And if you click on see more, it should show you all those actions that you can take using AI capabilities. predict the whether something will happen by the field or not, by the record ID. Okay, extract information from a document. Let's say I would want to go ahead and see the uh, positive or negative sentiment in a text. So if I want to go ahead and do that, I should be able to use this AI builder in here. And then first thing, see, define the language. So let's say the language is English. And what type of text do you want to go ahead and evaluate? So I say go ahead and evaluate maybe the body of the email, right? Check whatever content is written in the body of the email. And based on that, you go ahead and give me the result. So then you can go ahead and add the next step, and then you could check. Maybe just send an email, send email stating, so here, you could just send an email. And now I say, send me an email with the description of, or maybe a quick summary of the feedback, or maybe the result, whether the sentiment, whether it's positive, neutral, negative, and the overall sentiments. And you could even just go ahead and, if I would have used any other AI's capability, then I could have used those options as part of dynamic content. So that's how you could use AI in creating a flow, which is going to predict, analyze, classify, extract the information, and give you the results accordingly. So these are some of the examples that I've shown to you guys for AI usage within using certain tools that included Power Platform, Azure. I'm sure you guys are aware about rest of those like ChatGPT is there, which is from OpenAI. We have Gemini that is from Google. Like earlier it was Bard, but now we have Gemini, right? And then even on like if I talk about other tools, so let's say I know AI tools. These are all the tools that we have from source across the web. There's an entire list of it. Okay. And each tool would have its own significance, would have its own technology being used behind it. So if I talk about ChatGPT, it uses the large language model in order to find out answers and give. So it has certain um, neuron network, which uses token. Transformer is the technology behind this, and that finds out information and gives to you in human-like responses. Okay, we have Content Studio. Video creation tools are here. So there are like, if you want to look at the list of it, here you would be able to find it. Okay. So depending on your requirement, you could go ahead and use it. Canva is there. If I show you Canva, right? So Canva is basically a graphic design platform that will provide you tools for creating social media graphic, and it does use AI capabilities in order to bring that art to life. Okay. Now, if you would want to know more about how one can get started to start their AI journey, how one could become the AI developer or engineer. So there are certain courses offered by Netcom. So let me just go ahead and show it to you here. Right. So just so in this, you will have certain trainings available, and you have like, how do you want to go ahead and carry on with this? So with AI Cert, we are the authorized training partner for AI Cert here, and there is a learning roadmap available. So if I show you the learning roadmap for this one, there are going to be certain courses available that you might want to go ahead and start your journey with. Like AI Cloud is there, AI Data is here, AI Developer, Engineer, Ethical Hacker, Executive, AI for Everyone, which is basically one-day course where, if you're just starting with it, I would recommend go ahead and start with AI Everyone so that you get understanding of what is AI and how you could use it in everyday scenarios. We have Prompt Engineer, where when you learn the Prompt Engineer one, it gives you information about this strategies to craft effective prompt. Okay. How do you optimize and model output and build innovative AI solutions? So for this, you have the course details as well, and what exactly this you're going to learn in this prompt engineer. Now, just to give you an overview, see, people, when we talk about using AI model, it's not just about knowing about the technology, but it's also knowing how well you should be, how you should go ahead and use it in the optimal way. For example, if I talk about ChatGPT, ChatGPT is all about how well you can give the prompt and get the results. Like I was just creating an application using Copilot. For doing so, I had to give the prompt. In that prompt, I had to define what do I need it, or like what all do I need in order to create the app. Like this app that I've created, in order to create the app, I had to give the prompt, and then I had to work with those prompts to see how well I could have the app created. Because it was a demonstration, so I just did not really pay attention to the prompt. But when you're trying to work with it in real time scenarios, you should be able to pay attention to how do you give the prompt. Do not try to give the entire paragraph as a prompt. Try to break it down, try to make it as clear and concise as you can. Okay, that's the and all these best practices are the one that you're going to learn in the prompt engineer course. If you want to become a developer, so you have more courses like you have the developer one, which is a 5 days long course. Overall, 40 some hours is what you would be spending in here. In this, you would be talking about the essential aspects of artificial intelligence. How do you offer it use certain languages like Python for from basic and the progresses to more advanced topics. We would also be able to choose the focus on NLP, computer vision, reinforcement learning. All that we have discussed is going to be included within this course. So if I just show it to you here, like download the course details, these are the points that you would be able to learn. The essentials of AI and gain proficiency in Python for AI development, and the architecture of the deep learning and neural network that we have been talking about. Explore various specialized AI applications. Acquire the knowledge about large language model, which is the backbone for GPT, and master the art of prompt engineering. So all of that is going to be included within your AI development course. Okay. See, as should be, these are if you talk about prerequisites, these are some of the prerequisites that you have. So I would request you to go through this so that you can know more about the courses, AI courses rather. Here you have all of these AI courses. So I'm going to share this link is going to be shared with you guys in the chat window. Now, on that note, Um, we are coming towards the closure of our class, wherein we did have, let's start with a quick recap of what we've done in the last some hours. So we started with the AI, what is AI, the technologies of AI, and the implementation of AI in business. Then we talked about the impact of AI on the workforce. And then we talked about, like we saw some of the demonstration using some platform that included Power Platform, Azure, ChatGPT, and then there are more platforms available on the internet that you can go ahead and look at. And finally, we are talking about the courses that could help you go ahead and extend your learning in AI domain. And these are the courses that you could go for if you're just focused on AI in general. Okay. So I would have like less 10 minutes available for us. And these 10 minutes are what we're going to use for question and answer people. So if you have any question in specific, feel free to go ahead and write in the chat window, and I should be able to answer it for you.
Thank you, Mohan. That was most informative. And I know everyone's looking forward to the Q&A session, so go ahead and start putting your questions in the questions panel. And while you're doing that, I'd like to pass the presentation rights over to Neha Kumari, our product marketing manager, who's going to introduce you to our wonderful and amazing promotions and webinar related courses.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Tracy, for allowing me this opportunity to talk to our audience today. So, as you all can see here, this is the event handout that you all may have received. Once again, we thank you for taking out the time and joining our masterclass today. Before we proceed, it's worth mentioning that Netcom Learning has been awarded as one among the top 20 learning services company by trainingindustry.com for the third year in a row. We're in the training industry for over 26 years now and have serviced over 80% of the Fortune 1000 companies. Overall, we have trained 1 million plus professionals across 40,000 enterprises and we have also received recommendations from more than 96% of our customers. All our AI Search trainings are delivered by AI Search certified trainers. We have a pool of over 3,300 certified instructors who are active in their domains, bringing to you the latest knowledge and best practices, ensuring that you are on top of what is happening in the industry. We are your one stop solution for all your corporate upskilling needs with official training across every major technology and business solution provider. Netcom Learning is an authorized training partner for more than 90 plus reputed vendors like Microsoft, AWS, Google Cloud, AI Search, AC Council, and more. Now, within this handout, you can find this particular page where you can find the session recording. You can use the link to access the recording for today's session and revisit the concepts that you may have doubts with or need more clarifications that are covered in today's masterclass. All the participants of this webinar will also be given access to our Netcom 365 portal. It is our student portal that includes a lot of features and resources for you to take advantage of. All you need to do if you're accessing it for the first time is set up your password and then you're good to go. We highly recommend everyone to explore our learning portal to take full advantage of all the skilling resources that are available within this platform. Now, let's quickly take a look at some of the latest offers on AI search trainings and certifications. Now, as you can see, these are the recommended courses that we have for AI search. Our AI search courses have been divided based on roles. So we highly recommend everyone to click on these links. All of these are hyperlinked. Pick the item that you want to explore and you will be redirected to the official documentation that we have on these particular courses. Also, please note that all the courses that are delivered by Netcom Learning are delivered by subject matter experts. You get additional perks like 180 days access to virtual labs. Also, you get access to 90 days to the class recordings to revisit any concepts that you may like. You get full access to our Netcom 365 portal as well as you can repeat the classes free of cost within a specified duration if you want to revisit any topic or you couldn't attend the class for the first time. We also have a couple of resources mapped here for your easy access, including the upcoming free events and blogs. We highly recommend you to explore these as well as you gain more comprehensive knowledge on our offerings. We're currently offering a complimentary AI executive training to all our learners. While this is complimentary, it is limited for a short time. Priced initially for $9.95, this is available right now free of cost for all executives and decision makers across all organizations. Click on this link and enroll now to understand how strategic decision making can be enhanced with AI and how you can take your organization to lead in today's digital era. All the trainings are delivered by our top rated trainers, and you get a complimentary skilling plan consultation with our learning consultants, allowing you to get clarity on which specific courses are needed to be taken by your team. In case you're a large organization or an organization that is spread across geographies or have multiple business units within the same organization, the skilling needs get quite complicated. And this is where our learning passport is here to help you. Basically, you park all your training funds with us for 12 months, and within these 12 months, you get exceptional value on all the funds that you invest, right up to 100% increase of your fund value is what you can experience with our Learning Passport, and these funds are flexible. With Learning Passport, you get the additional flexibility that for one particular course, you can pick one particular learner, and for another, you can use the same training dollars for another course. This is basically giving you unlimited access to our entire authorized training portfolio, which has more than 4,000 courses. S- So, we highly recommend you to check this out if you have such skilling requirements. This is an ideal solution for you to park all your training funds and make sure you get the ultimate value all year round. Along with these, you also get additional access to courses and certifications, other free virtual events, blogs, and you can also access our promotional offers on our website. With this, I'd like to thank everyone. Do follow us on our social handles, and we hope to see you in our next sessions. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much for guiding us through that information, Neha.
And now we're going to go ahead and jump right into our question and answer session.
The first question we have today is: how has AI transformed traditional IT roles over the past decade?
So okay, very interesting question. Thank you guys for asking this. See, if I talk about how the traditional IT roles have been transformed or over the past decade, if you look at the current IT roles now, whenever you go ahead and like, there was one of the points that I was discussing during the class wherein it we talked about how what is this? Why does it matter becoming an AI expert as well? Or if not AI expert, then at least somebody who is aware of what is AI and how you go ahead and utilize it within the system. So now in today's time, if I talk about IT roles in specific, okay, how they have uh, transformed. So one is essential knowledge of IT is like basic knowledge of AI in any IT role is essential today's time. Okay, so if you are not familiar with what is AI and whereas various technologies that are based on AI, in that case, the solution that you would be creating might not give you the efficiency. So yes, as basic knowledge of AI is essential. If you have more knowledge of AI along with the traditions, like you if you are a developer, okay, and you are familiar with certain languages. Along with that, you should also be able to understand how you could use certain AI model in order to enhance the solution that you would be creating. Okay, so yes, when we talk about just more skills are to be added within the existing knowledge that you have as an IT expert. And when I say more knowledge, it is in context of AI knowledge. So you should, if nothing, you should at least have basic knowledge of AI in place for you.
Let's take another question. What are the key areas within IT where AI is currently making the most impact?
See, if I talk about the like which part of IT AI is making the most impact, I would certainly say it's the data analyst job. These days, we have certain tools available which uses AI capabilities in order to go ahead and perform data analysis. Power BI is one of the best examples that we can look at in the current scenarios here, wherein using this, you would be able to go ahead and perform advanced level of data analytics that we couldn't have thought possibly a few years ago. So yeah, data analyst is the one. And even in software development, it has played a vital role. So earlier, in order to become a software developer, you needed to know certain languages. There were certain prerequisites, which no longer is the case. We have low code, no code platforms available that could let you go ahead and create solutions. And along with that, AI has played a vital role in like Copilot, the one I was just showing to you guys. You just need to know how to utilize AI properly, and it is capable of giving one full-fledged solution instantly.
Next question for today is: what new skills should IT professionals develop to stay relevant in the era of AI?
Okay, so if I talk about new skills, See, it all depends on the kind of platform you're working with. If you are working with Microsoft as vendor, then there are certain platforms for Microsoft which has AI inclusion already. So for that, you could go with AI 900, right? That is the fundamental of it, and then you can go on with more AI courses from Microsoft. Similarly, you can go with Google. So Google Cloud Engineer, all right? And then there are more such courses that we have. So again, it's completely subjective to the platform that you would want to go with or the vendor that you're working with. SAP has its own AI models available. When I talk about Google, it has its own AI model, like the way you have ChatGPT from OpenAI, which is not part of Microsoft, and from Google, you have Gemini, right, which was earlier Bard. So you would be able to define the skills depending on the domain that you choose.
Last question for the day is, what are some of the leading AI tools and platforms currently used on IT?
So if I talk about some of the leading AI tools, generative AI has played a vital role in how the work used to be done in past and how the work is done now. So generative AI includes ChatGPT, Gemini, right? Now there are other tools that can let you go ahead and create content. So these days we have tools available that can even let you go ahead and create AI based reels that you could go ahead and put on your social media. Okay, so if I talk about the tools, Copilot, which is again a product from Microsoft that lets you go ahead and enhance the productivity of your within the organization, where you could use it with PowerPoint, Excel, Word, all that you could go ahead and use it with, and it does enhance the productivity of other platforms that like Power Platform, Power BI, Power App. So these are some of the leading tools that I would say: Copilot, ChatGPT, Gemini, Power BI, in terms of data analysis.
Once again, I want to remind you that as you leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to help us by taking a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience as we are constantly looking at how we can improve our future sessions. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. We want to thank all of you for joining us today, and if you do come up with any additional questions, feel free to send them to webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. We hope that you found today's webinar informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us soon. Feel free to tell your friends and colleagues about our webinars and other courses. Have a great day, everyone.